Hey everyone, my name is Evan Thomas. I'm a photographer and travel video maker. And in today's video, you are going to learn 5 things about the new Zhiyun Crane 2. You're gonna learn the benefits of using a gimbal, how to set it up, how the new Zhiyun Crane differs from the previous generation, some general tips and tricks for the Zhiyun Crane 2, and finally, the pros and cons of this new version. For starters, the terminology is a little bit confusing. This is the Zhiyun Crane 2, the newest version, and this is the Zhiyun Crane 1 version 2. This was basically the second update to the first generation crane, but today's video is going to be all about the Zhiyun Crane 2, so let's focus on that. I've been using the Zhiyun Cranes now for about a year, and I've had incredible results. If you haven't seen my Spain video that I shot over the summer, I'll link to it below, or just wait till the end of the video and you can watch it. But basically that whole thing was shot using a Zhiyun Crane and DJI Mavic Pro. If you want a gimbal that can mimic dolly shots, crane shots, and add a ton of production value to your videos, then the Zhiyun Cranes are for you. If you want a gimbal that's light and compact and you can take traveling with you, then the Zhiyun Cranes are for you. So now I'm just going to unbox this so you can see what's inside. The first thing you'll notice is that the Zhiyun Crane 2 is a lot bigger than the old version. It comes in this elongated case, and I'll show you what's inside. So it comes with a shoulder strap for the case, the instructions, and all the documentation. It comes with this battery charger with 3 batteries. These things, I never know what they are. I think you can eat them. It comes with the crane itself. So this is the bottom handle. This is the crane, this is the battery compartment. Set this to the side. It comes with a tripod, and this goes on to the bottom of the crane. Finally, it comes with all of the cables that you need. And to set it up, you just unscrew the handle, take the 3 batteries, and add them into the battery slot. Make sure you match up the minus sign with the minus sign. Take the bottom of the handle again. Take the tripod, and then we're just gonna turn it on by holding the power button, and you'll see it pop to life. If you currently own the Zhiyun 1 version 2, which is the older generation, and you're considering updating to the new Zhiyun Crane 2, then there are some key differences that you need to know about, and I'll put them on the screen right now. So as you can see, the battery for the new Zhiyun Crane is up to 18 hours. From my testing, it's closer to 15, but it really just depends on how you have it balanced and how hard you're using it. The new Zhiyun Crane has 3 batteries, which is something I actually don't like because it's just one more thing to lose. It takes less time to charge, only 2.5 hours compared to 3 hours. The weight, like as I mentioned earlier, is 2.75 pounds as opposed to 2 pounds. The payload is increased from 4 pounds to 7 pounds. And there's also the follow focus feature, which is only for Canon for now, and that's a limitation of the cameras, not a limitation of the crane. The OLED screen, and then another great feature is the ability to charge the camera through the crane. In my opinion, the best updated feature on the Zhiyun Crane 2 is the OLED screen. So on this screen, you can see things like battery life, whether or not you're available to connect to Bluetooth, the mode that you're in, and also you can choose your camera if you're using a Sony, Panasonic, or Canon. And finally, you can choose the payload of the camera from low, medium, or high. It's also worth mentioning that the new Zhiyun Crane has a new Manfrotto style base plate. So this base plate can be removed from the crane and slid into the shoe of a Manfrotto tripod or any other Manfrotto device. Okay, so now I'm going to attach my old camera, which is a Canon T2i, to show you the 3 different modes. I'm not gonna show you how to balance it. I have another video, I'll link to it at the end. It shows you how to balance the crane, but that's a whole video unto itself. But it is very important, so you need to know how to balance, so you should definitely check out those videos. Okay, so once it's attached to the base plate, I'm just gonna hold down the power button for 3 seconds and turn it on, and it comes to life. So the 3 modes are pan follow, lock mode, and the follow mode. So this is the pan mode, And it simply just follows my pan. So if I turn to the left, the camera will turn to the left. If I turn to the right, it'll turn to the right. Notice that it stays on the horizon. So if I move the gimbal forward, the camera stays facing the horizon if I move it backward. I'll show you from the side. The next mode is the lock mode, which is great for getting jib style shots or crane shots. And to get to that mode, you just push the mode button once. So now I'm on lock mode. So no matter which direction I move the gimbal, it's always gonna stay facing that one direction. Finally, the last mode is the follow mode. And to get to that mode, you tap the mode button twice. And what that does is it follows whatever direction I go. If I go down, if I tilt up, it slowly follows. If I pan to the left, pan to the right. I'm just gonna show you that from the side as well. If I go down, if I tilt up, you can see it slowly follows. And you can change the responsiveness of the follow mode in the Zhiyun Crane app just by connecting to the crane with your phone through Bluetooth. Make sure you download the Zhiyun Crane app from their website. Before I go any further, I'd just like to ask you viewers for a favor. If you're enjoying this video and find it useful, please give it a thumbs up and like it. If you want to see the travel videos that I make with this crane, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I answer every single comment. I will get back to you. So please leave a comment. Okay, so another new feature with the Zhiyun Crane 2 is the ability to adjust the tilt directly from the crane without using the joystick. So in the previous version, you wouldn't be able to do this. If I were to attempt to adjust the tilt, it would freak out, the motors would start vibrating. But this is a really cool feature because if you're using it as a tripod, you can set up your shot perfectly. One more thing I'd like to mention, that is if you turn off the crane, it's not just gonna collapse under its own weight and damage your camera or the crane. So if I go ahead and power it off, you can see that it stays in place. On the old version of the crane, the camera would just flop and I'd damage the lens or I'd scrape the crane. The reason I really like the Zhiyun Cranes as opposed to the other 3-axis gimbals is because of the build quality. You can tell that it's a machined aluminum, it's really strong, it's this matte black, it looks great. And I actually really like this new thicker diameter handle. It's easier to grip and you just feel like you have more control. Something that's kind of cool to keep in mind is that you can use the tripod as a handle, elongated handle, and you can see that I can use it as a handle. And it kind of just gives you more control and that extra length. So that's kind of a cool thing to keep in mind. So you're probably wondering, should I buy the new Zhiyun Crane 2? Well, if you're a travel filmmaker and you want to add production value to your videos, then I would say it's a definite yes. If you already own the previous generation, should you update to the new Zhiyun Crane 2? Well, that depends. If you have a heavier camera and you're having issues balancing or stabilizing that camera on the old version, then the increased payload makes this an obvious choice. However, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is a bit bigger of a gimbal. So if you just want to take this on a weekend getaway or you're going on a hike and you want to throw it in your backpack, it is a little bit bigger and more cumbersome. The box is bigger, the crane is heavier. I'd say this is more of a professional filmmaking tool as opposed to the old crane, which is, it's still a professional tool, but it's a little bit easier to travel with. It's a little more user-friendly. It just barely fits in my Manfrotto backpack, but I just think that the increased payload and the better stability, the wider girth, the included tripod, everything that it comes with makes this an excellent choice, and I'd highly recommend the Zhiyun Crane 2 to any filmmakers, especially travel filmmakers that are on a budget and like to travel light. As I said, if you have any questions, please leave a question in the comments below. And check out my balancing video on how to balance the Zhiyun Crane 2.